hate to dwell on our worst season, but the way things went in 2009, it felt like we were so snake bit, and it was like, when is anything gonna go right? You know, when is a break gonna go our way? Just nothing went right.
The script that the 2010 York Revolution wrote is one that may never be duplicated. It was a season of change, a season of ups and downs, a season full of records that may never again be touched. In the end, the 2010 Revs ended up making history in York, bringing home the city's first championship in 41 years.
The 2010 season kind of started that way, like the first couple of weeks. We had a couple of bad losses that got away late, and you're just wondering. I mean, Somerset was good every year, and we were still in the same division as they were, so you knew that you had them to compete with, and they had knocked us out of the playoffs 2 years earlier. They were a team that never made a mistake. It seemed like they made every play, so it felt like the players probably didn't feel this way. A lot of times when you're on the field and in the game, you're a lot less nervous because you have control over what happens. A lot of times it's the fans or me that might be more nervous because you don't have control over what's going on. You can only sit and watch. 2010 was a little bit of a slow start, and we had such a huge roster turnover when Etch took over, and he kind of cleaned house, and there were some fan favorites that weren't brought back, and it was a bit of a tumultuous off season. It was tough. It was tough to see a lot of fan favorites go. So I think, any time that you have so many new guys, and in this league, really, I mean, most years you do, but I guess a slow start was a little bit expected. But it was probably around mid-May that everything started to kind of fall into place, and we started to gain some momentum. And I remember the first half of 2010, late May, Etch kind of remade the entire bullpen. And it was amazing the way that the number of roster moves that he was willing to make during a season. It was different than any other team, I think, than any other manager was. I mean, it was gutsy. It was really gutsy. And he had determined early on that we needed some new blood in the bullpen, which was a little bit of a weakness the first few weeks. So he overhauled it, and he made one trade with Lancaster. He sent Solomon Manriquez, a catcher who was off to a good start with us. He sent him over there to get John Muller, who did a very nice job for us out of the bullpen for a couple of months, and then later in the season he traded him again. So he wasn't there the whole year, but we had John Pachot coming in, so we had a starting catcher, so he made that move. And then late in the first half, that team just took off and caught fire. And the one game that really stands out to me was against Somerset. It was a school day game. I think it was June 3rd. It was one of those 11 a.m. games, and I actually, it went to extra innings, and we had so many chances to win, and it kept going on, and I think there was a rain delay at the beginning too. And I was actually getting nervous. I could never share this on the air, but I wanted it to end because we had tickets to the Hershey Bears had game 1 of the Calder Cup Finals at home that night, and it was like my only chance to go because we were going to be on the road after that. So that game needed to end. But that was, to me, that was, well, there were a couple of games from that year that stood out, but Ian Bladergrone hit a big home run in the 8th inning to tie it, and then in the 13th inning he hit another one to win it, and that was against Somerset, and I think it put us in first place, or it put us right there. And it proved that we could beat those guys, and that we were just as good as they were, if not better.
And the Revs win!